So right after that, still on the Vanguard newspaper, we had can Ghana influence change in Nigeria? That's the big question. Well, can Ghana influence change in Nigeria? There are lots of things Ghana can actually do, to influence change. Already they are doing it, because the Nigeria is uh, fictionally believed to be the giant of Africa. The only giantness we are is in our numbers, not obviously in the economy. Because there used to be a time Nigeria was the biggest economy in Africa, above other countries. Today it is number 4, and if possible, we might slide down to number 5. Unfortunately, yeah. So other countries are far ahead of us. And there's so many things that Ghana can learn, or sorry, Ghana can teach us, or we can, learn from Ghana. Because when it comes to electoral system, deciding who becomes who, we should learn that from Ghana. You could imagine the last election that they had, a very peaceful election. Even before the collation of the results, the party in power had already started congratulating the man whom they felt won the elections. And that is how good elections should be. That is how good elections should be. So there are lots of things that we can learn from Ghana. Elections is one of them. Our political system is one of them. The guest we had today talked about contactless, voting in Nigeria. Have that we mustn't even stay under the rain and in the sun in order to have a transparent, fair election in the country. We used to have a guest who said, why not convert the moribund ATM machines we have now? Because all the banks now, they all have ATM machines without money in them. They transfer the money that should be in the ATM to POS. Okay, so why not utilize those same ATMs as a voting platform where people could go cast their votes? You just go there, you swipe whatever INEC card, whatever it is that you have, and it would, mark that you have voted. Why not, translate that to that? But you know why all of this awesome technologically driven solutions will not work for INEC? Because we still practice a politics of grab it, take it, and run with it. That's why even if you have the best of technology for INEC, it will still not work. Even if you have the best of technology, IREV will suddenly shut down. Yes, the beavers will suddenly not work. It's not like the technology we have now is not working or it's not good enough. But when the man behind the technology is being instructed not to make the technology work, then it's still back to square one. So the problem here is not with the technology. The problem is not with the ideas. The problem is not knowing the solution. We know and understand how solutions are driven. But when we operate an electoral system like we have in the states houses of assembly, the federal and the two houses of assembly in Abuja, where they say yeah and nay, and even those that say nay, their voices might be louder than that say yes. They will say the yes, have it. But in other parts of the world, they have an electoral voting system where parliamentarians sit down, and if they want to vote on anything, they all have like a button. If you've been to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire set, before, they have electoral kind of some stuff that they have. So if they say choose the answers, you choose. Once you select that electronically, it can be said that somebody on seat 24 actually chose this particular number. That's what technology is. We should have it in the National Assembly, right? But because of the kind of elections and the kind of politics we play, it's not possible to have that. It's a politics of grab it, take it, and run with it. So with all the technology we have, it would never be possible for it to work when grab it, take it, and run with it is the only form of electoral system that we have. So these are some of the things I think we can learn from Ghana. And looking at followers also, there's so much we can learn from Ghana. Ghana are a more peaceful country. They understand rules and regulations. They understand terms of engagement. In Nigeria, most of our motorists today, most of them don't even know what zebra crossing is. When they get to zebra crossing, so motorists feel that's the best for themselves to increase speed. They want to increase speed and kill everybody on the crossing there. Not knowing that the reason we have zebra crossing is for you to, when you get to that particular spot, you stop. Whether or not someone is about to pass, you have to stop for some minute or for some while, before you now make your way. But in Nigeria, it's the opposite of the case, and I don't blame them. Most of the drivers you have today didn't even go through no driving school. Imagine a madam that the husband buys car for. Instead of her going to a driving school, she would rather tell the cleaner or the gardener to come teach her how to drive. And in 1 week, she now calls herself expert driver. In the first 2 days, you will see L in the front of the car. After 3 days, you won't see that L again, which means she's now an expert driver. And that's why when she gets to zebra crossing, she won't know that she's supposed to stop. She'll think zebra crossing means increase speed. And before you know, boy, they've killed somebody, and they'll come out and cry, and they'll call the husband, sir, I don't know what happened to my husband. So that's the situation we find ourselves. So until even as followers, we are good enough to understand the rules of engagement, to understand our duties and our responsibilities as citizens, to complement, good and responsible leadership. That is only when we would understand some of these things. In Ghana, the dichotomy between the north and the south is equally there, where predominantly the northern part of Ghana are Muslims, while the southern part are Christians. But you never see any sort of insurgency in that part of the country. You don't see them. You don't see Boko Haram, you don't see ISWAP, you don't see all of those. You don't see them. They have a way of living in peace and in harmony with one another. In Nigeria, is the opposite of the case. Where politicians are even the ones infiltrating into insurgencies and promoting them and giving them arms and ammunition and all. I really don't know why a country of over 200 million people should be learning from a country of less than 40 million, the size of Ghana, the size of Lagos. It's so very unfortunate. But of course, and someone said the overtaking is allowed. Overtaking is allowed, so that's why you see smaller countries that are not up to the size of Ogun, Rwanda are ahead of us. The Paul Kagame just invited the Formula One to their country. When you watch a premiership, you see visit Rwanda, a very small tiny country that's less than Ogun State. But the way they champion their cause is beyond recognition. In Nigeria, a state like Lagos that should be a country of its own. If Lagos was to be a country, it should be one of the fast growing or the fastest growing economy in Africa. But because of the type of leaders that we have, you don't ever see visit Lagos when you watch the premiership. You don't see it. Why do you think you won't see it? Because when visitors come, what do they see? Is it the Abiru that are busy saying, order? Or you see the yellow infested, buses that are not well kept, or you see the burdens everywhere, deaths everywhere, open drainages all over the place. Is it the place you want visitors to come and stay? When you say come visit Lagos, when Manchester United / Leicester are playing, is that the kind of Lagos you would love to come see? Or is that the kind of Abuja you love to come see? Is that the kind of Enugu or Imo State or whatever that you would love to come see? So these are some of the things I think that we can learn from smaller countries that understand what good leadership is, that understand the importance of putting the people first. In Nigeria, our leaders don't put us first. They put themselves and their families and the cronies first. And little wonder, you see all of those, issues here and there, and we can't move forward. We can never get to our permanent side because of things like this. Well, that's all we had for the Vanguard newspaper.